We're starting from the beginning, going back from Bereshit, beginning. Harav ShliachTzibur says a fundamental concept when he starts the Sefer in Akdama. He says that don't think that I wrote this book to give you any new information. If you want new information, close the book. That's not this Sefer ShliachTzibur. I'm here just to tell you whatever it's very Pashut, very simple. If it's known to everybody, but because it's very known, because it is very simple, people forget about it. And therefore, their actions, their thought doesn't act accordingly, doesn't think accordingly to this very simple concept, very simple yesodot. That's why everybody knows Hashem Echad. Everybody knows that Hakadosh Baruch Hu created the world. But there's a mitzvah. Twice a day you say, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. It's very simple. Everybody knows. There's something new. But you have to remind yourself and live accordingly. Think accordingly. To know Hashem Echad is not only information to know and forget about it, put in a closet. Hashem Echad has an effect in the daily actions and a daily thought that you are thinking and you are doing. That's why Harav ShliachTzibur says, I'm not here to tell you something new, I just want to tell you something that you know, but think accordingly, something that you know. Yesod HaChasidut v'Shoresh HaAvodah Temimah. The foundation of everything, Ma'chavato ba'olama. It's very simple, Ma'chavato. Why you came here? You came here to go to Olam Haba. That's all the answers. But the Chidush is that not only to know, but and every action, every thought, what should I do to get to that? You have to remind yourself. You have to tell yourself every day again and again. Are my actions fit to this thought, to this yesod, ma'achuvata ba'olam or not? This is the concept that the varim pishutim, the simple thing that the person should remind himself and act accordingly. It's one of the biggest yesod that Harav ShliachTzibur tells us. Not only ma'achuvata ba'olam, only that, which is very important. Any other concept that they are the varim pishutim, Hashem Echad, or any other concepts that are very simple, but since they are very simple, we forget about it, but our actions and the schedule of the day are busy on the daily life, we forget about it, and a lot of times we don't do accordingly. In Simchat Torah, one of the famous songs, we say, Shelo Asani Goy. They go crazy. They in yeshivot when they sing this song, they go around and around Shelo Asani Goy for an hour. You want to show your appreciation from Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Shelo Asani Goy, many other things that Hakadosh Baruch Hu gives you. What's Shelo Asani Goy? Why this Shelo Asani Goy? This yesod of Shelo Asani Goy is everything, every maila, whatever you are a Rosh Yeshiva, you're a biggest Talmid Chacham, you're a big doctor, whatever you want to say, whatever you have. This is a yesod. You have to appreciate. You are not a Goy. This is a very simple thing. But needs a lot of appreciation. To think about it. Just every morning we say, do you realize every morning we make a Baruch Shelo Asani? No, very simple, we forget about it. Yesh me'ayin. Hakadosh Baruch Hu created the word yesh me'ayin. It's very simple, everybody knows that. Very simple. Hakadosh Baruch Hu created the word from nothing. And Every second HaKadosh Baruch Hu renews that Ma'aseh Machadesh B'tuvo Ma'aseh Bereshit, that Ma'aseh Bereshit was Yesh Ma'ayin, I don't know if Chaim Volozhiner says. Every second HaKadosh Baruch Hu renews Yesh Ma'ayin. Do we realize that? What does it mean, Yesh Ma'ayin? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu every second and second creates everything from nothing, every second. Next second, again HaKadosh Baruch Hu does the Ma'aseh Bereshit, Yesh Ma'ayin. Yeah, it's very simple. Yes, we don't realize that and we don't act accordingly. We forget about it. There are many concepts that they are very simple, but since they are very simple and we know it's so clear for us, we forget and we don't act accordingly. Now, one of the issues faded into this week's Parsha, Bereshit. I'll just pick up one issue to talk about. And many issues. We see the Maaseh Cain ve'Hevel. There is a machloket if the Maaseh Cain ve'Hevel happened when they were in Gan Eden or after Adam Rishon came out of Gan Eden, after the Chet Adam Rishon, and he came out, and then Maaseh Cain ve'Hevel happened. And the way that the Psukim says, it's the way that it's written, it's after the Chet HaEgel, after the Adam Rishon came out of the Gan Eden, that's when happened. That's a very simple following of the Psukim. But there's a machloket when it happened. It says, "V'Adam yada et Chava ishto, v'tar v'telet et Cain, v'tomer kaniti ish et Hashem, v'tosef laded et achiv et Hevel." So the very first child, they called him Cain. Why Cain? V'tomer kaniti ish et Hashem. Kaniti, which means the Cain comes from the word kaniti, Kinyan. Which means after the Chet Adam Rishon, there was a decree, a gezerah of mitah, gezerat mitah. So the Adam and Chava says, okay, we have a child, we gave birth to a child, after we died, we have something in this world as a continuation. Kaniti ish, I was kane ish ma'ashem. The kaniti, it's a kinyan. I owe something after I die. I have something in Olam Hazeh, in this world. The second one, Batosev Laded et Achiv Hevel. It doesn't say why they called him Hevel. By Cain it says, Kaniti Ishet Hashem. By Hevel doesn't say, Pasuk, but the Hevel means what? Hevel Barik. Nothing. Hevel Avalim Amar Shlomo. Which means the Ol Olam Hazeh is nothing, is a Hevel. Everything is Hevel. Which is just the other way around from the Cain is. A Cain, Kaniti, I own something in this Olam Hazeh. Somebody remained from me. Here, the Olam Hazeh, it's Kaniti. And Hevel, everything is Hevel. Nothing, worthless. Which is really a little bit contradicting Cain and Hevel. And really the Mfarshim, they go to explain this Cain ve'Hevel. This is there are two concepts that a human being they have in their mind. It's a way that the people think, Kaniti, it's mine, I did it. Or it's a concept of Hevel. Everything is Hevel, Havalim, nothing. No, Olam Hazeh is nothing. So the Midrash says that the Adam Rishon came to Cain and Hevel. After under 30 years, he was doing Teshuvah, and he told them, some say it was on Pesach, Erev Pesach, some say it was Rosh Hashanah, doesn't matter when it was. He told them, you have to bring Korban to Hashem. So they listened. Cain, he brought the Korban. ויבא קין מפרי האדמה. What was קין מהאדמה? פרי האדמה. It's a זרע פשטן. It wasn't something very high quality or something good. זרע פשטן. והבל he brought מבכורות צאנו מחלביהן. It was the best son, the best cattle, whatever he had, מחלביהן. The best ones. So the Pasuk says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu send the fire for the korban of Hevel and not for the Cain. And Cain gets upset. Vaychal Cain mod. Oh, why HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't accept my korban? I mean, I don't know, he didn't understand. Your korban was for nothing. What did you bring? And he brought from the best. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu pay attention to his korban, not to your korban. But he doesn't understand. Harav. He gets upset. Why? Why Hashem doesn't accept my korban? Okay. Realize, what did you do? What did you bring? You just said Apishtan. You brought something that is not really, that wasn't Kavod Hashem. But Eber did bring something. So what's your question? He doesn't pay attention. So after, Hashem Kain, Lama chara lecha, Lama naflu panecha. Why you're getting upset? Do teshuva. Even after HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells him, do teshuva, you did something wrong. Fix your action. The Pasuk later on says, Vayomer Kain Hevel Achiv, Vayib Yotam Basadeh. And Cain told Hevel, what did he tell him? Pasuk doesn't say what he told him. Vayib Yotam Basadeh, they were in a field. Vayikam Kain Hevel Achiv Yargo, and he killed him. What did he tell him? So Midrash says they went into this discussion, Ashkafa discussion, Cain and Hevel. So Cain came to me, the Midrash said they divided the world. They said, okay, it's only me and you, and the whole world, we are Yeresh from our father, let's divide the world. So you get, Cain says, I Kaniti, I get all the land. And Hevel said, every metaltalin, everything about the land, it's mine. So this way they divided everything. I get the land, Cain says, because you have to realize, the name Cain that he was called, he has a very big effect on the way that he reacts. Shemagara. The name of a person has an effect on a person. That name, Kaniti Hashem, that name that was called every time they were in Kaniti, the Kenyan, he went inside the Cain to feel, it's mine. The land is mine. It was basically a Ish Olam Hazeh. It was a person that he cares about the Gashmiut, the Olam Hazeh. As a Kenyan. So this type of a person see everything that happens. It comes, it brings the korban. You have to bring a korban. Yes, I bring a korban. If you are Ish Olam Hazeh, you give importance to Kinyanei Olam, the materialistic person. When you want to bring korban, what type of korban you bring? Okay, let's be, it's very cheap. Zerapishtan, something you. Hevel wasn't like that. Hevel wasn't thing. Hevel, every time they call him Hevel. It's a reminder for him. Everything is belonging of the world is nothing. So when he wants to bring a korban, what does he bring? He gives everything, the best. What the reaction is when HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells you, Vaychar Kain, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, pay attention to the korban of Hevel and not to your, he gets upset. Oh, he has a gaiva, he has Ish Olam Hazeh. You don't pay attention to me, all the land is mine. You don't pay attention to me. So open your eyes, what did you do? No. He's so involved in his taiva and gaiva, Ish Olam Hazeh, that he doesn't see that. Harav. Ad kedei kach, so much that he goes and kills Hevel because of that. This kind. What's the shortage of everything? Where it begins, this person, Cain, to become like that, to be a Rotzeach, the very first generation of the world, the Adam Arishon, so close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, really, very first natural human being was Cain. Adam Arishon was created by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He wasn't from a mother and a father. Very first person that was from father and mother was Cain. He was the Bechor. And this person is a Rotzeach. Where did that from? Torah doesn't just say, they called him Vatomer Kaniti et Hashem. This person Hevel. What brings him to become such a corrupted person that HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't accept your korban? You get upset? Instead of coming back and say, oh, what did I... Open your eyes. You did something wrong. Admit. Admit I did something wrong. The rabbi is upset at me. When the rabbi is upset at you, what do? You go back and you leave the shul because this rabbi is upset at me? Or you go to the rabbi, Rabbi, what did I do wrong? Please let me know. I made a mistake, let me know. We are not talking about the rabbi, we are talking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu here doesn't pay attention to your korban. What should be your reaction? Your reaction is, Daichar up, oh, leave me alone? Or go back, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I made a mistake. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes and tells you, you made a mistake. Do tshuva. And right after HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes and tells you, do tshuva, still, Vatomer Cain el Evel Achiv, and he start arguing with Evel about his Ashkafa. The Midrash says what he told him, the Torah doesn't tell us. The Midrash tells us. He told him, was a let din vel dayan. Why HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't pay attention to my korban and pay attention to Shem? There is something fishy here. He still doesn't open his eyes. Such a person that Olam Hazeh is ikar for him. He doesn't open his eyes. And Geras says that really there is here Ashkafat was a fight between Cain and Hevel. Cain says Olam Hazeh is ikar, and Hevel says it's Hevel Avolim. And really Hevel was stronger than Cain. He was able to kill Cain. Geras says. Because the Pasuk says, Vatomer, he was discussed with him. They had a discussion. And Torah doesn't tell us, the Midrash tells us what was the discussion. And then the Pasuk says, Vatomer Cain el Ever Achiv, Atna, Vahi biyotam basadeh. Later on, Cain finds Hevel from the back, he goes and kills him. He couldn't confront Hevel. Because if he would confront Hevel, he wouldn't be able to do anything. These two concepts of a Kinyane Olam Hazeh is a Ikar, or everything is Hevel Varik. If they confront each other, if you sit at the table and discuss it, Avada Hevel wins. But the problem is that the Cain, the Kinyane Olam Hazeh, the Yesarara of Kinyane Olam Hazeh, to know that everything is Olam Hazeh, they attacking from the back. That's why Hevel is going to be killed. That's why we see outside, whoever thinks that Kinyane Olam Hazeh is the strongest, they're winning. Hevel is died. That Ashkafa is dying. But the Moshe Rabbeinu is the Nistus of Hevel. The only way to revive Hevel is Torat Moshe. The only way to encourage ourselves, to let us know this Yesod, Kinyane Olam Hazeh Dar Hevel Havalim Hamar Shlomo. We have to remind ourselves that. And that's the only way we could revive. If we don't remind ourselves every day, when we say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Echem twice a day or 4 times a day, like to remind ourselves, Hevel Havalim Amar Shlomo. Every Kinyanim is Hevel Havalim. Everything is Yesh Me'ayin. If we don't remind ourselves, we go to outside, automatically everybody thinks, I have to gain, I have to make money, I have to have that, a Kinyan, I have to, a car, what should I, business. Usually that's how we forget. That Yesod. Hever Havalim. That Yesod we forget. And our daily reactions in the world, our daily thinking is not based on that. We forget about it. Hevel Havalim Hamar Shlomo. The very Orlot Ephraim brings a very good example. A person should be a businessman, a good businessman. How Kinyane Olam Hazeh is. How a person should make in his eyes that everything belonging to this world is nothing, is heaven. He says an example. There are 2 businessmen in those days. They used to go to a show. Here, today they go to Las Vegas, a show. Whenever you go show, you buy for all year around, whatever, everybody comes there to sell their products, and you see there and you buy, and during the year you sell it. That's how we make money. So that was the same thing, nothing changed. That olden days also, there was a Yerid. They used to go to Yerid once a year, the marketplace, they buy the junk, everything, and say, little by little. So these 2 businessmen, they come to Las Vegas. They came together. This guy comes from China, this guy from another country. They met each other, both of them billionaires. They say, let's beat the market. We get together and we are going to buy the best qualities, whoever has the best quality, and right away we give them cash, whatever it is. This way everybody would come to us, we are going to have the best quality. Made up, okay, they shake hands. Everybody used to come, they heard, these 2 billionaires, they have everything, you right away, everybody needs any money or anything, right away they go to them, right away, before anything they put the cash on the table and finish. Yeah, every good goes, they got best quality of everything. This person finds out about these 2 businessmen. They say, okay, he was a middleman. He wanted to sell for another person. He comes to him and says, I heard you have a cash on the table. I have a customer for you. You pay cash on the table. Yeah, I have somebody has the best quality. Doesn't have a second. The best of the best. And the guy needs money. He's ready to even sell it for half a price. And if you wait another 2 weeks, it's going to go down to a quarter price. So one of them says, jump on it. Okay, good. Let's do it. Here is the cash. What is this? Where is it? He says, yes, this person, this property has the best fruit. There is no second to this. It's such a good... you can't, I don't have to tell you about it. Go ask anybody, everybody knows. Such a big property. One of these 2 partners says, oh, let's go buy it. The other one says, are you crazy? What do you want to buy? He says, what do you mean? You do the quarter price. In 2 weeks, in quarter price? I tell him, listen. We came here to buy merchandise and to go sell it. What are you going to do with this property? You're going to take it with you? I'm not going to stay here. We are going to 1 year, we are going to be away here. You go back and come back to take care of this property, especially those times. How can you take care of this property from far away? We came here to take things with us to go sell it. Here we cannot deal with it. manager, not manager, did the two, stealing. Why you want to deal with that? Let's invest on something that we could take with us and sell it, finish. Why you want to buy property here? What that's going to do with you? Going to take it with you? Harav says, and neshama comes to Olam Hazeh. This neshama should be a businessman. He comes this Olam Hazeh to buy things, to take it with him to Olam Haba. What are you going to take with you to Olam Haba? A Yesara, this middleman, Yesara comes to, I have a best property, best fruit, Olam Hazeh. You could have the best simcha, best joy, and he comes to tell you, buy it, buy the property. And Neshama tells you, what are you going to do? Buy this Olam Hazeh, Gashmiut, Kinyane Olam Hazeh. Why can you take it with to Olam Haba? What are you going to take? We came here, the Neshama came here, person came to Olam Hazeh to do the mitzvah, to buy things, to be a good businessman. Calculate. What can you take with you? Are you going to spend your money and your time, things that you cannot take it with you? Hevel Havalim. It's a good property, yes. It's such a nice Olam Hazeh, enjoyable. This middleman comes to sell to you. You say yes, this Olam Hazeh. Be a good businessman, calculate. Is it worth it to sit and learn 1 hour or go to business? How much you going to get from that? That business, you have 1 hour, you open earlier your store. You're going to get 10 more customers, or 1 hour, you're sitting and learning every word that you say, so you take it with you. Just calculate. A good business, how does it calculate? Which one makes sense? Okay, I need to live, I need to take care of myself. Okay. But to stay more, to make more money, or to buy Olam Haba, which one makes sense? A good businessman, which one does he do it? And am I going to spend 20 years of my best life to get a degree? There's a Maaseh. There's an amazing Maaseh. When first time, few years ago, I heard it, it's a Maaseh. But look, what does it mean, a good business? Still, my thing is not for us. But let me tell you the Maaseh. Gra, his brother, he was very genius, like Gra. He lived in a nearby city. And he sent him, come here, to his brother. We learned Torah together. Come here, I know you're a genius, they were good chavruta, they could learn. The Hamkut of a Gra had and his brother had, let's learn. He told his brother, believe me, I want, but my wife doesn't let me. Oh, your wife is such a Eshet Chayil. She's a tzaddikat. Your wife doesn't let you? What do you mean? What do you mean? He says, tells him, yeah. He says, okay, let me ask your wife. He says, why don't your husband come here and live here in Vilna? We have such a good time here. I mean, we're learning Torah. What do you want? Why you are in that city? You alone, I'm here. She says that I tell you this. Why? He says, my father, she says, he lived very poor life. In those times, to do Mekayim, the mitzvah of Etrog, was very hard. Not everybody would, like nowadays, everybody, Baruch Hashem, everybody, it was such a beautiful scene, everybody together shaking the I wasn't like that. There was one time, one person in the whole city with that a few months to get together and get one good etrog, and everybody would share and be mekayim the mitzvah. So my father wanted very much that he should have his own etrog all his life, but he didn't have money. He decided that whenever he gets money, works, anything, penny by penny by penny by penny collected, maybe after a few years he'd be able to buy a etrog. Maybe. She collected penny after penny after penny after penny. After he was old age, very old, he says to his wife that, I don't know next year we're going to be able to do the mitzvah or not. We collected so much penny after penny. I want to, maybe next year we won't be here to mekayim this mitzvah. Let's take it and buy a etrog. So he goes to the person, the businessman that he sells this etrog. He puts the whole sack of pennies in front of him. Was a lot of money after many years. He start counting the money. I'm sorry, you cannot buy etrog. To get the etrog, good etrog, worth much more than that. So my father was very miyash. He says, disappointed. What should we do? They decided, my father and my mother together decided, you know what? Let's sell our house and the money we buy etrog. They said it and they did it. They sold the house in order to be able to buy etrog. This is a good businessman. How does he make a calculation? What worth? What? They did it. They sold the house in order to be able to do the mitzvah of etrog. Not if they wouldn't buy it, they wouldn't be able to do the mitzvah, but they wanted to buy it, that the etrog should be their own. Anyway, there was an etrog in a city somewhere they could go be yotze. But they wanted to buy a etrog from their own. They sell the house. And you know what? My wife she said that every time that I pass in front of that house that my father and my mother sold it, nearby in the same street that we live, I have such a nachat. My father and mother, they sold this house. Whenever I see this, I have such a nachat. I cannot leave this city, go to other city. That's why he said my wife doesn't want to come to Vilna. Anytime that I see that house, how can I leave the city? That city, my father and mother sold it to buy to be able to do a mitzvah etrog b'mamon shelo. The story. The story. You are not Gerav, you are not the brother of Gerav, you are not. I was saying, but this is a real businessman. She is much more businessman than any other businessman in the world here. He knows the value, what to exchange with what. What does it mean? Hevel havalim hamar shlomo. Can you do a mitzvah with your money? What are you going to exchange the money with? Okay, I come to shul, the shul they have tzitzit. I don't have to buy tzitzit. No, I don't have tzitzit. Tefillin, okay, I find the tefillin there. Rabbi, I want to buy a mezuzah. What's the cheapest one? Is a good businessman? I have 1 hour. What should I do with this 1 hour? Be a good businessman. You have 1 hour extra in your hand. How do you get the best out of it? To go to a beach? Or to sit and learn? Which one? Be a good businessman. Okay, you need a rest. You cannot take it 24 hours. 24 hours you can't. But okay, 12 hours you could. Half of it. 12 hours you can't. 6 hours you could. I'm not talking to Bnei Yeshiva. Let's talk about the other people. Yes, you have a lunchtime. 1 hour and a half we have a lunchtime in Yeshiva. A businessman. A lot of times, this Bachurei Yeshiva, that 1 hour and a half lunchtime, what do? Okay, I don't have a seder. Let's talk about money. I'm a rest. I need a rest. But when a business comes or something that they could be involved or go schmooze with a friend, they kept on it. Oh, go. But to come back to Bet Midrash, I'm tired. You have to get fresh. Be a good businessman. This is a very first yesod that the person should remind himself. We don't think about it. That's the whole problem Harav Mesilat Yesharim tells us. It's so pashut, so simple, that Hevel, Havalim, Hamar Shlomo, this Olam Hazeh is Hevel Varik, is nothing. Kinyan Olam Hazeh is nothing. It's so pashut. There is no need for me to stand here for 1 hour and talk about it. Everybody knows this. But do we pay attention to live accordingly? To have it in mind. Yes, every time that we want to make a decision how to spend our time, how to spend the money. Oh, this guy is crazy. He bought Petechat Neila this much. What is crazy? Who is crazy? The person says that or the person bought it? The person said it. Which one is a real businessman? You could buy in 1 penny another mitzvah. That's what you take with you. Be a real businessman. In our mind, Olam hafuchot ra'iti sham. Gemara says. When I go to Olam haba, there's everything upside down. To a crazy businessman, they say pikayach, they say he's smart. And to this person that is ready to sell his house, to buy a truck, they say crazy. It's the other way around. Why? Because we don't pay attention. Hevel, Havalim, Hamar, Shlomo. Shlomo is biggest chacham in the world, and he said it. This is the chokhmah. Be a good businessman. Calculate what you can take with you. You go to a show, you don't buy something that leave it and go. You take with you, you buy something that you take with you. And what's better than the zechut of learning Torah, sitting and learning and doing a mitzvah? That's what we take with us. The very main thing is the very Mesilat Yesharim in the beginning that it says there are devarim peshutim, there are simple things that so simple that people forget about it and they don't do accordingly. That's what we have to remember. Yes, we have to remind ourselves every day. Hevel, Havalim, Hamar, Shlomo. Shlomo was the biggest chacham in the world, and he said, all Kinyan Olam Hazeh is Hevel, Havalim. I have to take something that I can take with me at Olam Haba. That's how I should take. The way that I look at the world and the Kinyanim, that's how it should be. And this is changing the whole life of a person. If a person could be a Kain, think about like a Kain that they were calling Kain, Kinyan, by Olam Hazeh. Or Hevel, every time reminds himself, Hevel Avarim. This is a two school that right in the beginning of the Bereshit, the very first two human beings that they came to this world, they had this discussion together. Which one to go? Am I a Kain? I live with the philosophy of a Kain, or I live with the philosophy of Hevel. Hevel, Havalim, Hamar, Shlomo.